What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Ladies, Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Right now, we're in a massive weather delay going on with Colorado LAD. Not even sure if this one's going to start. So had a lock there, ended up locking a pitcher prop from that one as well with Lindy's Locks update over on my Twitter. You can follow me at Eric Lindquist. I'm updating the locks. The main reason is because I know that I'm coming to you the night before, and there are a couple of reasons why. One, I want to get the information out to you as fast as possible. Two, the most important one is I want you to beat closing line value. I want you to have closing line value in your pocket every single day, whenever possible. Because long term, you want to bet earlier before lines can get more efficient, before smart money comes in, before the public moves it in ridiculous directions. You want to make yourself very malleable throughout the day to be able to bet things when the numbers approach the numbers you're looking for. I know that sounds complex, but it's really not that hard. We are truly just using Odd Shopper's approach, a market-based approach. I'm adding in some of my stochasticness, looking at all of the great projections and things that I have on my end here from our site, and I'm helping you win money on the daily. Hopefully, you've been doing that here quite a bit in the month of June. It's been an awesome month, running red hot. Homer prop Kyle Schwarber lead off today. That was beautiful stuff for a half unit that we threw in there in the premium Discord. We got Detroit across as a money line as a dog. We got a lot of great stuff. Tampa Bay added to the card there. So many great plays today and this entire month. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Smash that like button for me if you have. We got producer Jacob. We got a little bit of a new format going here today. Back into the StreamYard streets. Good stuff coming your way here, just like at BetMGM, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Looking forward to you guys signing up over there. You can do so in the description box below. It's great stuff. But friends, 15 games. I better not talk too much here in this intro. We got a lot to get to. Producer Jacob, roll the tape. Let's get to the picks. Game number one, we've got Cleveland, we've got the Cubs, and welcome back to the Bigs, Cal Quantrill. Now, he didn't get sent to AAA or anything. He was simply hurt. He had a boo-boo. They ended up sending down Logan Allen, which is pretty wild considering this rookie's beginning to the season. Came out red hot, guns blazing, mowing down everybody. Has ran into some issues with long innings, and, well, Cal Quantrill coming off the IL. I think they might just be trying to limit Logan Allen's innings, but it was a little bit of surprising news that I woke up to here on Thursday morning. But leading into Friday, Cal Quantrill, he's been brutal this season. A 5.61 ERA, 1.42 whip, and it was a shoulder injury he had. Sometimes people just blame bad beginnings to seasons on injuries, or sometimes those injuries are actually things that show up. And Cal Quantrill, he's never had the strikeout rate, but even this was low by his standards. The 28-year-old sitting at a 12.8% K rate, he was at 23% in 2020, 19.6% in 2021, and then, yeah, it went down, but 16.6%, that's still drastically different than 12.8. He had a 5.84 expected ERA, which was by far his worst in the Big. So if you get a healthy Cal Quantrill out here, I think it's an interesting spot to maybe look at an under, and part of that is because I really like Cubs starter Justin Steele. Looks like we're going to have the wind be pretty neutralized here as I look at windfinder.com. Friends, make sure you're checking these things too. And maybe one day I'll cover those on Lindy's Locks update over on Twitter when it such applies. But Justin Steele, sub 3 ERA. He's been awesome. 30.8% hard hit percentage, 344 expected slugging. Now, his starts have generally shown up on weeks as we haven't had to break him down very much on this program. It's kind of sad because we used to back him all the time last year, and maybe it's just a weekend thing where I haven't been running into him on a lot of Saturdays, but overall, I've always liked his profile as a real-life pitcher. Never going to glorify you in terms of Ks, just at 22.2%, but that four-seamer that he throws over 60% of the time, it limits barrels. He really avoids a lot of problems with it. Just a 5.8% barrel percentage on all pitches over the course of this season. So I think we get our day started off with an actual play here on Friday. I like the under of 9. This is a big number if you ask me, and I know that there's going to be some questions about, is this still a play for you tomorrow based on the win? This is only minus 122. FanDuel Sportsbook's the only one that has this one up right now. I think we get closer to minus 115, so I'm going to wait before firing up this like. I think we might get a little bit more cushion there coming into tomorrow, if maybe another book can drop a line here that is more favorable for us. Now, I do expect some of those unders to possibly work in our direction, but this over, I'm not sure what to make of it, but it's where I'm leaning. It's San Diego, it's Cincinnati, and the main reason why, it's Seth Lugo on the mound for San Diego, going up against Graham Ashcraft. And both of these guys have been you can get the joke. 344 xWOBA for Seth Lugo. We've got 370 xWOBA for Graham Ashcraft. We're talking about a sub 21.6% K rate for Seth Lugo, 16.2% for Graham Ashcraft. In fact, Graham, 2 of his last 3 outings, he's resulted in 6 or more earned runs. Yeah, 10 earned, 6 earned. These are not good things for one appearance in a baseball game, unless you're like playing T-ball. There's no pitchers in T-ball. That's probably a good thing for Graham Ashcraft. Either way, these are not great pitchers, but 11? The books were really quick to this one. Got to give them a shout out. Not because I like them. I'm really mad about this, but standard juice on 11. I'm leaning towards the over because I have this at 11.5, but is it worth it on a 15-game slate to play this thin of a play this early in the day? My guess is no. So sadly, only going to be looking in the prop world for this game. It's going to be full of a lot of goodness, though. I got to expect runs in it. Great American Small Park, Padres, Cincy, the revamped Cincy team. Fernando Tatis is probably hitting a leadoff home run. Let's be dead serious. But either way, over 11, just a lean. George Washington. Yeah, Hamilton people. Anyway, it's the Washington Nationals. They're going to be facing off against the Phillies. It's a weird spot. I don't really like anything about it. We got Christopher Sanchez on the mound for the Philadelphia Phillies. Washington, Josiah Gray, who his ERA is pretty darn good now. 3.43, 1.40 whip. We know he primarily throws a lot of off-speed stuff. That's kind of his go-to. A lot of curveballs, like lots of just nothing straightforward with him is kind of what I'm getting at. But he has not officially been announced as the starter here yet, which is why we have no line. If you look at the side of your screen, hey, I'll Vanna White it. She's staying around. I know we're going to have Ryan Seacrest as the new host of Wheel of Fortune. What are we doing here? Why does he do everything? He's on with Kelly Ripa. He's doing radio shows for no frickin' reason. Sick of this guy hosting American Idol. What are we doing, Ryan Seacrest? Have a weird career, okay? Oh no, I'd like to host Wheel of Fortune and do nothing else. Just go home to a nice bottle of ice red every day. Sit back. Oh, I just spun a wheel for hours on end. They record a lot of those in a day over at Sony. But anyway, that's a conversation for a different day. Conversation for today is Christopher Sanchez, the one official announced starter that we have. 384 expected slugging, 288 xWOBA, 26.4% K rate so far in his couple of starts. Just 3 of them so far this season. Really good stuff, though, overall. Was going through some of the pitch mix. He has a 4.05 ERA. A little bit of tough luck on that considering the BABIP, considering the 1.05 whip. But a 3.34 expected ERA. This is a good pitcher, but I like Josiah Gray a little bit more if he ends up being the guy here. So I think I'm going to be firing up plus 1.5 on the Washington side if this number is where I'm kind of expecting it to be. We're going to be getting better than minus 125 here on the plus 1.5 on the Washington side. I think I'm going to be going to that. Again, there's a lot of variability here. I'm just kind of guessing, but it's a lean on the Washington getting the 1.5, assuming Christopher Sanchez is getting evaluated properly. And again, he's better than the 4.05 ERA. I'm not hating on him. Think this is more of just a backing on Josiah Gray against a K-happy lefty squad in the Phillies. My Minnesota Twins heading into Camden Yards. Increased fences. 2 righties on the mound. But one's really good, one's really bad, and I'm a little bit confused by this line, and maybe you can help me. But Pablo Lopez, who's been awesome for my Twins, 279 xWOBA with 30.1% K rate, is facing off against Dean Kramer, and I'm pretty sure this is like minus 108 on both sides. No, it's definitely minus 108 on both sides over at FanDuel Sportsbook, which, hey, good for them, giving you better than standard minus 110 on both sides that you're getting everywhere else. But why? I get it. We've been backing Baltimore quite a bit, and they have an improved lineup. Apparently, Ryan O'Hearn can hit again. Apparently, Mr. frickin' Aaron Hicks can hit again. Throw me a frickin' bone here. Boss, need the info. But I'm not quite getting it here. Mini-me, don't be scared. Pablo Lopez is way better than Dean Kramer, and last time I checked, starting pitching such a huge component of sports betting. Why Why is this even money on both sides? Now, maybe Minnesota gives us the garbage team, but my expectation is you get Alex Kirilloff, Max Kepler, Joey Gallo. Those are three lefties in the outfield who hit the ball very far. Actually, Alex Kirilloff probably playing first in that iteration of a lineup, but those are some lefties with some pop. It is still short porch to right, super long porch to left. Last time I checked, Dean Kremer's a right-handed pitcher, so why is this line even money on both sides? Of course, I'm talking myself into Baltimore winning 10-0 or some shit, but either way, we've been running red hot, and part of that is just proper evaluation of lines when they're way off. And this was supposed to be a lock. But I'm going to put like on this for right now. Minnesota, the bats have been quiet. It hasn't been an enjoyable experience as a Minnesota Twins fan here of late. I get called a homer from time to time when I put them on the card, but this is just nonsensical. We're talking about Pablo Lopez with a 212 expected batting average. And yes, everything I said about lefties there applies to the Baltimore side too, because again, Brian O'Hearn can hit. Gunnar Henderson, now 50.7% hard hit percentage, 455 expected slugging. He woke up. Anthony Santander from the left side, Adley Rutschman from the left side. You get Adam Frazier, who's still terrible, but whatever. From the left side, Aaron Hicks. Whatever. Minnesota, money line. I like it. I wish I could lock this. I wish I could, but I'm going to show a little bit of restraint on a 15-game slate. We have yet another money line that ends up making the card in this one. We got Freddie Peralta, fastball Freddie, as I like to call him, going up against Osvaldo Bido. Osvaldo Bido? Living the Bido Loca. It's going to be good stuff here, but Freddie Peralta, we'll start with him. 25.4% K rate, 9.4% walk rate. One of these is good. That's the K rate. One of these is bad, the walk rate. However, he is limiting hard contact at 37.9%. But I look at this Pittsburgh team. Jack Sawinski better from the left side. You had some neutralized righties, and they're just at a 90 WRC plus against right-handed pitching, so not exactly ideal. I think Freddie Peralta, he's had some struggles from time to time throughout this entire season. I still like the stuff. I still like the fastball, as everybody does, because if he didn't have that, he would not be in baseball. 4.65 ERA, I think that's a little hefty, but we've now seen him give up multiple runs in multiple outings throughout this season. In fact, he only has one outing where he hasn't given up an earned run this season, and it was his first of the year. Yeah, we're talking April 3rd. It's been a hot second since he didn't give up runs. And I think that's where I'm kind of getting at here. Osvaldo Bido, living the Bido Loca. I think we are going to. 44.7% hard hit percentage. He needs to improve that. But a 3.41 expected ERA now through 276 pitches. There is not a very large sample size here. We want to pay attention to the weather too, which could be an issue here. But 3 outings now so far this season, 3.45 ERA. He is that typical kind of guy who I think comes in here. We need to watch the walks, but I think the strikeouts carry over for the 27-year-old making his debut. I don't know. Kind of like the pitch mix. Even the fastball, throwing it over 50% of the time, it's getting decent enough whiffs, 19.1%. He's got a 285 expected slugging on that pitch. If he can limit the hard contact with it, despite a low spin rate, despite a low whip percentage, I think we're probably in good shape backing him here. I like Pittsburgh as a surprise play on the card. A little bit surprised to see that they're plus 126 in this scenario at home against a putrid Milwaukee team that I don't find to be all that enticing at this kind of a number. So, yeah, Pittsburgh, welcome to the card. Didn't see that one coming. We're going north of the border here for a little AL East action. It's going to be the Boston Red Sox visiting Toronto. I bet they're going to go take some pictures. It's lovely up there that time of year. My wife was asking me the other day, do you want to go to Toronto Film Festival with me? I don't know. Isn't every union in acting and everything else on strike right now? I don't know. You know who should be on strike right now? James Paxton. He's getting no love at this kind of a number, and I was a little bit surprised. I thought at plus 120 he might end up on the card against Jose Berrios, of course, but there's a play that I think I like a little bit better, and we'll get to it. Let's start with Paxton. 31.8% K rate, 289 xWOBA. Good stuff across the board from him. A little bit surprised that he's as good as what he's been because his AAA numbers were terrible, but sometimes these vets, They come in, they just phone it in. Hey, I'm going to work on this and this and this because I have an infinity dollar contract and there's no way you can cut me or do anything with me. And I'm going to show out when I get back to the bigs. And that's what he's doing. 3.19 ERA, 1.02 whip. He is one of the best pitchers in baseball, once again, facing off against Toronto. And Jose Berrios, we generally like to pick on quite a bit. Now, this season, we have not picked on him nearly as much because there are some good trends with him that I alluded to coming out of the preseason. When we have targeted him, it's been very positive, and part of that is because we picked our spots against like a Baltimore team coming into Toronto. A lot of these teams with potent lineups that might not be getting valued because they don't have the strongest starting pitching. Now, Jose Berrios, 4.64 expected ERA. That's not good. The 3.60 ERA, he's finding results, but in kind of a wonky fashion. I think he's going to start giving up power sooner rather than later. In fact, 3 solo shots in his last 4 appearances. How about Rafael Devers from the left side? My friends, this is a professional hitter, professional big leaguer coming into the mix here, and I want to be backing him with a 51.3% hard hit percentage, a 552 expected slugging. I really want that on the card here. We're running red hot in homers. Kyle Schwarber. Even throw a Beatty there on Live Before Lock on the Stochastic YouTube channel right before lock. Ended up with a lot of him in TFS. Didn't put him on the betting card because I'm an absolute schlup. But anyway, Devers on the card. Let's go, Homer. The San Francisco Giants going up against the New York Mets. And welcome back Alex Cobb into our life. Hasn't been pitching for, 16 days, 17 days? Last time he appeared was on the 13th. He ended up having an oblique issue that removed him from that outing. Sounds like he's doing well, and he's got a sub 3.1 ERA, 1.37 whip, but you never really know these first starts, and that's where it's a little bit difficult for me to just instantly put this on the card. And I thought about it, considering minus 120 against this putrid Mets team. Kind of want to attack them against Carlos Carrasco. 6.19 ERA, 1.56 whip. Yet another thing that isn't going well for the Mets this entire season. We picked on him quite a bit, but now the books have kind of caught up. In fact, would you expect the Giants, with a pitcher coming off of the IL, don't take into account that it's Alex Cobb, but a pitcher coming off the IL, that they would be favorites in this spot against the Mets? Because I'm a little bit surprised by it, that they were that keen to it, but it's unfortunate for us because it probably keeps it off the card. I am leaning San Francisco still. I see this being closer to minus 125, but I was expecting this to be minus 110 and a lock. So, joke's on me, I suppose. Look at that. Not even a like. We have to lean with it. In fact, we're going to start leaning with a lot of things. Let's fly. This game sucks too. It's Atlanta, it's Miami, and, well, we don't even know who's going to be on the mound for Atlanta. I tried to do some due diligence for you. That's kind of my job. Is this the spot that Michael Soroka comes in? I think he comes back here. Now, there are 2 days ago that I thought he was going to get called up. I threw him out there as the potential starter, and to whoever it is that's in the YouTube chat always saying, hey, Eric, I need to know who the starting pitchers are right away. Well, yeah, I'm trying to help you beat the lines early. That's the goal of the show. And sometimes making an inference about the pitcher is an important part so you can react to the line as soon as it drops. So joke's on you. Michael Soroka, if this ends up being him, I'm pretty sure that I want to be on the other side of what I'm about to recommend. But Atlanta money line right now would be where I go. If it ends up being somebody else, probably. I don't know. It's hard to really assume what this line drops as, but if it is Michael Soroka, he's had a tough time so far this season. 8.38 ERA. He had an oblique issue as well that's kept him out for the last almost month. It's the last 3 weeks for sure, but over the course of AAA, it wasn't exactly great stuff from him. It was incredible stuff from him. 1.42 ERA, 18 strikeouts, 19 innings. Overall, pretty good stuff. Again, I don't know what to make of it here yet. I need to see the number. It's going to dictate everything that I do here. But on the other side of this one, at least with Miami, we know it's going to be Brian Hoeing, which means you're probably looking at more of a bullpen game than anything else. Now, Brian Hoeing was strictly out of the bullpen to start off, the middle of May it was. Now, he's been ramped up to 65 pitches in his last 2 outings. He's been awesome. 1.20 whip, 2.31 ERA in that span. Interesting pitch mix from him that results in a 299 xWOBA. Kind of just chucks a weird fastball, 94 miles per hour. Doesn't have a ton of movement, but it generates enough enough swing and miss, despite the low spin rate on both that, the sinker, and the slider, that I have to be okay with it. So Brian Hoeing, I don't know. This is a really tough spot to know what to do. I'm going to go Atlanta money line just as a lean because I have no idea. I could end up on both sides of this. This is just a flip-flop spot. So if you want to know what I end up doing with this one, hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. I'll let you know if it ends up on the card. The Texas Rangers hosting the Houston Astros. Yeah, the Battle of Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas except for Jose Altuve. He'll never be taller than 5'3". We got just is this real? Is this real? It's John Gray. Good. John Gray, I thought was appearing 2 days ago, and it was freaking me out a little bit. But 2.89 ERA, 1.05 WHIP. I'm assuming he's going up against Ronel Blanco, and yes, that is by all reports exactly what we're going to be running into, and we did have the line drop in the last couple of minutes. That's cool too. Reiterates everything that I'm going towards here. Mr. John Gray has been great this season. Sub-3 ERA, talked about everything about him. Ronel Blanco is really hard to get a grasp on what he could end up being for this team. He's only been in the rotation now for the last couple weeks. He's had 4 starts at the big league level now. Had some decent results, 94 pitches in each of those, kind of got ramped up out of the middle of nowhere after a month off in AAA to go get ready to go. But 5 1/3, 6, 5 2/3, pitch mix stays about the same, but the K rate, as you would expect, going from a bullpen arm to a starter, ends up plummeting. And that is not a good thing against a Texas Rangers offense with a 117 WRC plus against righty pitching, primed and ready to roll. And that is where I start landing on something like a run line. I'm going to lean this one because there are so many plays. I don't want to have 48 things going tomorrow. I want to have a handful of these run lines, a handful of these money lines, and a lot of my player props that you definitely know and love in the premium Discord, which you can get at BetMGM. We'll talk about that here in a second. But Texas on the run line is my lean in this one. Again, the line dropped within the last couple of minutes here. Minus 155 on the money line are the Texas Rangers. You adjust that over on the Texas side, plus 140. Ooh, that is awfully intriguing. I'll think about it leading into tomorrow. My friends, it's BetMGM. Hey, that's a very excited Eric Lindquist on your screen. And why? Well, you're going to get 2 free months of OS Premium Discord when you sign up at the video description box below. And my friends, my friends, the premium Discord has been lit of late. It's been a month to remember, that's for sure. I hope June continues on forever. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the way time or anything works until I have a time machine. And that would be great. And then I'm probably never going to do this again. But either way, until then, my friends, you sign up at BetMGM in the link below. You're going to get 2 free months of that OS Premium Discord with my betting card every single Sunday through Friday. Yes, you heard me. Every single Sunday through Friday, I'm firing it up for you, giving you my best. And then you can just check my work over at Lindy's Locks Update over on my Twitter at Eric Lindquist, but that's not all. You can also get up to $1,000. Yes, $1,000 in bonus bets back into your account if your first bet loses. Use promo code OS Insider, or it should automatically upload it if you click on that link below. But the way that works, if you deposit $50 and you bet $50 on your first play, if it wins, you keep the profits. If it loses, you get $50 back in bonus bets, and that applies all the way up to $1,000. Take advantage of all of these sports books, giving you great promotions. It's called Odd Shopper for a reason. I want you getting the best lines every single day, but I also want you getting these insane promotions from books. So until next time, friends, just sign up at BetMGM in the link below. That's all I really have for you here. Let's continue on to our plays. We got 6 games to go. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for a weird, wonky matchup that I don't remember ever seeing in my lifetime. But hey, they're reducing the number of games you play in in league, and then you're running around other places. And now Kansas City and the Dodgers are facing out. What in the world? Bobby Miller on one side of the mound, and then Alec Marsh, who I'm going to be breaking down for the first time. Excited to go through his AAA stuff. But Bobby Miller, 341 expected slugging, 294 xWOBA, yet another Dodger that, spoiler alert, is pretty good at baseball. I mean, how was Michael Grove the tout who went between these twos? I don't understand. But he did give up 10 hits to Houston last time out, 6 earned, 7 earned against San Francisco. But overall, I like the pitch mix. I think he's a decent enough arm, and as a righty, facing off against Kansas City, that's a good thing to beat. Because Kansas City, Worst team in baseball with an 80 WRC plus against that handedness. So yay for him. Great matchup, although expected to be hot again. Humidity. Make sure you have your gold bond, friends. But Alec Marsh, that's who we're breaking down for the first time. Interesting pitcher. He's not good. In fact, he's very, very bad. Like very, very, very bad. 4.62 ERA, 1.52 whip. I'm going to be leaning automatically against those kind of numbers with the Dodgers on the run line, just blindly. And the reason there's no line out for this yet, you got a game that could end up getting postponed here on Thursday night. Still hasn't been announced a start time for first pitch. So it's also a divisional rival. It could very well end up getting rained out here in this spot. I will find out. But that means a day of rest for the Dodgers. Pen? More bad news for Kansas City, that's for sure. You could end up getting a wonky number here, but I'd be happy to lay it. We'll see. -1.5 on the Dodgers side. Let's go to that spot where the rain delay is going down. It's the Detroit Tigers visiting Colorado. Another matchup that looks a little bit wonky on paper. I almost said pitcher and paper at the same time. Wishy-washy. Austin Gomber. I'll enunciate my words. He's going to be hosting Michael Lorenzen and fam on the bump. Interesting. Michael Lorenzen used to play outfield for the Cincinnati Reds. Fun fact. He's a pitcher. That's about all the nice things I have to say about him. 462 expected slugging, 18.6% K rate. I expect negative regression coming his way very, very shortly. 4.54 expected ERA despite a sub-4 ERA. That's going to get worse, unfortunately. Although he is a nice guy. I actually met him one time. He's lovely. Again, that's all that I can really say. Austin Gomber, though, on the other side, is somehow more atrocious. The lefty, 46% hard hit percentage, 308 expected batting average. And the thing I really want to target, the 562 expected slugging. Hi, Spencer Torkelson. How are you this fine day? Double dong on Thursday. He keeps showing up on the betting card from time to time, and it's pretty wild to me because he had such a bad rookie season. Like, we're talking one of the worst free number one pick in quite some time. 22-year-old, whatever. We'll write it off with the 272 WOBA in 2022. 292, we're improving. But the big thing now, the hard hit is there to stay. 48.1% hard hit percentage. That's more like the AAA version that we saw of him. 41.8% last season. That ain't it. That ain't it. Already has more barrels this year than he had all of last year in a smaller sample size. So Spencer Torkelson in altitude sounds fun. I'm going to lean that direction for sure. Now, the numbers might not be something that you want, but I have this about a fair value of plus 310. So if you can get better than that, it's on the card, period, end of story. That is all. You can find me in St. Louis. Can't say the other words on this program. We got Luis Severino here in the Yankees. They're going to be facing Michael Liberatore, who pitched all of 4 days ago. So that's weird to me. He had to come in relief. Yet again, Adam Wainwright went all of 1 1/3. This might be a spot where I end up really firing. I already fired, but I might end up really firing because Luis Severino, this is not your grandpa's Luis Severino that we're seeing so far this season. Yet another disappointment in the Yankees starting rotation. A 387 xWOBA, a 292 expected batting average, a 525 expected slugging, and a St. Louis team that, despite their faults, they have many, they've got some bats on their shoulders. 7th in all of baseball with a 108 WRC plus, 177 ISO, a lot of power, and with great power comes great responsibility. Speaking of that, you're starting to get a healthier Yankee squad. They're going to be facing off against Liberatore, who is atrocious. A 527 expected slugging, a 404 xWOBA. I'm a little bit confused by this line, and maybe somebody can help me. We also have Houston up 10-0 right now on Thursday. They're trying to run through all their arms and getting some useless junk out of the way so that they can keep their pen intact going into tomorrow. I don't know exactly how much they're going to be able to do with that. And Liberatore pitched pretty recently, so I don't think he is very long for this game as the announced official starter. Maybe they take this off the board. They try to bring somebody up from AAA, try to eat some innings or something here. But even then, I would be on the over of the number if it ends up being 9.5 like it is right now. In fact, this is my favorite play on the board, period. It is 91 degrees expected to be at first pitch. It is St. Louis where, yeah, the ballpark generally is pretty neutral, but This is going to play way up in power with these two pitchers and their current form. And it's even money on 9.5 right now. What are we doing here, friends? I have this closer to 10.4 runs, and I'm getting even money, and this is a lock. Yes, 9.5, my favorite play on the board, period. Go both teams in this one. We go from a lock to another lock. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up. Had to throw Daniel Day-Lewis in eventually, right? See, I have the straw. That's Shohei Ohtani to every starting pitcher in baseball right now with 29 jacks now. Hits another just garbage time jack today. It was incredible stuff. I'm enjoying it. Are you enjoying it? I'm enjoying it. I'm going to enjoy backing the Angels here with Griffin Canning going up against Tommy Henry. And not because Griffin Canning is anything super special, but a 4 ERA, 1.16 whip, and positive regression kind of in store for that ERA. I can get behind it against a pitcher that I know is not very good here in Tommy Henry. Somehow has a 4-1 record. That has more to do with the offense here. He's been running on very good times. Now, he's been better in his last couple starts. 6 against Cleveland and 6 2/3 against Washington. You know who the Angels aren't? Cleveland or Washington. They have power. They have dudes in that lineup. Just throwing it out there. And therefore, we have to be locking this one as well. The Angels should not, in any way, shape, or form, be inside of -150 on the money line. And yes, I understand their bullpen, not very good. But again, they were a team that got down big and early to the White Sox today. They did exactly what we're trying to see St. Louis try to do, or they get rid of some of their bad bullpen arms. And we can revisit this tomorrow on Lindy's Locks update for you. But I already have a play on this one for a unit. You should have a play on this one for a unit. -145 on the money line here for the Angels. It's already -158 at FanDuel Sportsbook. So go to DraftKings Sportsbook, pull it up. Somehow, some way, it's still at -145. Congratulations, you found yourself a phenomenal play. My second favorite play on the board. We still have another lock, though, to come. So that's pretty wild to think about. The Angels' money line gets it done here in Anaheim. Pretty easy play. Oh, and did I mention Corbin Carroll left the game early on Thursday? Maybe you don't have him playing. It is a minimal concern on a sore right shoulder, but you don't want Corbin Carroll getting hurt. Funky Cole Medina. Yeah, he's going for the Oakland Athletics here, going up against the White Sox, and I have virtually no idea who starts for the White Sox. Okay, maybe that guy in YouTube chat had a point. Oh, Eric, you're not breaking it down. I think it's going to be Tanner Banks. That's who I projected it out to be. I have it projected as a mostly bullpen game here, and that's usually a good thing. Bullpen games generally are good things where you can get some value. Now, Luis Medina is terrible, and I doubt that the books don't recognize that. 6.84 ERA, 1.62 whip. And Oakland, they're not exactly good facing any righty, period, end of story. 83 WRC+. The White Sox, pretty terrible against righties, 86 WRC+. That is the 28th and 27th worst marks in baseball, respectively. With only 30 teams in baseball, good lord, we could probably not expect runs, but you got to expect runs when those bad pitchers on the mound. God, there's a lot to mine out with this one later. So let's just lean the White Sox money line. Bullpen game, cool stuff. We move along. And friends, oh friends, we have a lock to finish out the night. Maybe producer Jacob is correct. Oh, you always lock Seattle. Oh, you always have a play on Seattle. I don't know. I'm not taking Seattle here, but it's Tampa Bay and Seattle, and I definitely like the pitching in this one. Shane McClanahan going, welcome, my friend. It is good to see you. Hasn't pitched for a week now. His back issue sounds like it's just fine. He's been the best pitcher in baseball in the AL by my marks this season, going up against Bryce Miller, who's been a little bit of a surprise for me. Sub-4 ERA, sub-1 whip in the best pitching ballpark in baseball. Yes, in terms of run creation, go up to the leaderboards tab over at Baseball Savant. Go to custom leaderboard or to StatCast Park Factors. Take a look around. Take a look. It's in our book, Reading a Rainbow. No? Fine, I'll just give you the plays. Bryce Miller, 22.5% K rate isn't exactly ideal, but again, one of the best ballparks in baseball. He is facing a very dangerous Tampa Bay team, 125 WRC plus against righties this season. Still glad that we backed him against Brandon Pfaadt. That was beautiful stuff. Long as my pockets was fat, didn't give a crap where that was at. You probably don't get that reference. Ben Folds. People ain't. I don't know. I'm losing you. Under 7.5. Absolute lock fest because of Shane McClanahan. 26.7% K rate, 305 xWOBA in the best pitching park for pitchers. Oh my goodness. Good luck, Seattle, making contact with anything. I'm very excited for this game, and mainly because I think 1-0 is legitimately on the table. Although even Tampa Bay, they can put up some runs, but even still, Shane McClanahan is going to mow some dudes down. Tampa Bay is so damn good. Yeah, we keep it rolling. Locked to end the night under 7.5. Beautiful, beautiful number. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know how glorious this week has been, how glorious this month has been. It's going to be so sad to see it go. I will see you all again in July. You've got Aton for the weekend. Don't forget to check out BetMGM. Don't forget to check out all the great deals with all the great books that we have going down in that video description box below. I can't talk anymore. It's been a long week, friends, but it's been an awesome week. I will see you again on Monday. Until then, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Friday.